A private network, by design, is only going to allow use of that network by people, devices, technology that is provisioned to be on that network. So, in other words, think of it as a highway with gates on all the on-ramps, and in order to get through the gate and use the highway, you have to have a certain sticker on your car, right? So, if you have that sticker, okay, great, now you're on the private highway, and you can go as fast as you want to your intended destination. You get off the highway, and then you resume traveling on the road system that surrounds the private highway. The private isolated network is a lot like that. That's sort of the metaphor that I use in my mind, in that if you're transiting a private isolated network, the whole idea is that the only devices, the only data, the only transactions that are using that private network are those that the owners of the network are saying, yes, this is allowed. Anything else doesn't come on the network. And the advantage that has, particularly from a security standpoint, is that you have 100% confidence in it at any given time. Who's on the network? What are they using it for? How much volume are they using up? How much bandwidth is still available? You can have real-time analytics of all that usage, and that has value to the users, right? So if you want to get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time, and you have some flexibility in when you leave and when you arrive, then you're going to wait for low volumes of usage periods to transit that private highway. Same thing with a private isolated network. When we're talking about moving to a private isolated network, a big part of that transition will be at the same time, or maybe in advance of the move to the private network, you're going to be operating in a cloud environment. So you need to be thinking in terms of how do we configure our services, our movement of data, the transactions, our communications. How is that moving in and out of a cloud environment? Because a big part of the value proposition of using a cloud environment is it can be inherently more secure than the technology that's been used for the past several decades, than on-premises data centers and communication centers. But if it's not configured properly, then from a security standpoint, it actually can create more vulnerabilities, which is a big problem. The good news is that companies that are interested in making a move to a private isolated network don't have to do this on their own. There are other companies out there that have been operating in this space for a number of years that understand proper configuration of cloud environments, proper configuration of moving data in and out of the cloud, and hosting applications in the cloud, and hosting entire environments in the cloud. So that doesn't have to be done on their own. They don't have to feel like they're wandering into an unexplored wilderness in order to move their most sensitive data and transactions off of the public internet and into a private isolated network. And again, from a security standpoint, another piece of it is going to be provisioning and credentialing, right? If you're going to be on that private isolated network, you have to have the proper credentials. You have to have been provisioned to be on that network. Otherwise, you're not going to be allowed on. And so again, there are companies that have the skills, that know how this technology works, that can help enterprises move safely, securely, and efficiently into a private isolated network environment.